channel. I hope that you're doing well. Today is a very special day, and that is because it is our cat's birthday. He knew I was talking about him. Moose, come here. Here is Moose. This is one of our cats. He is a Maine Coon, and he is 3 years old today, and this is his favorite toy, Mousy. Moose. We were told that they were cats when we got them, but they're kind of like small house lions now. Ugh, gosh, you're so heavy. And before you ask me if I'm a cat person or a dog person, I'm actually both. I just have 2 cats because cats are way easier to look after, but I always grew up with dogs, so I love both dogs and cats, but we live in a small apartment. The cats are the easiest pet to look after, so we have 2 cats and it's their birthday. You're so cute. Where's your brother? Bear! Oh, are you done? Whew. And this absolute loaf is Bear. Bear is a bit bigger. Oh my gosh, they're both from the same litter. They were actually the only 2 in their litter, which is why we have both of them. But Bear is significantly bigger. He's also a little bit more shy, so if you ever see a cat in any of my videos, it's probably Moose. Bear is, he's not as keen. He's not as keen. Anyway, today's not about our cat's birthday, even though wouldn't that just be the most glorious video? Today I have decided to do a little bit of my experience video. I know that when I first moved to Canada, or when I was first thinking about moving, I was looking at a lot of videos where people were sharing their experiences, and when I first started my channel, that's kind of what I did, and I haven't done that for a while, so I figured, hey, it's been over 5 years now, and maybe I should just do a video reflecting on some of the things that I wish I'd done in the past. Obviously 5 years is a really long time. Well, it's not a really long time, but it's a significant amount of time to be living away, and I have come up with a lot of things I would have done differently had I done this now. So I thought, hey, maybe I should share them with you guys. And while I'm on that topic, if you are interested in this kind of stuff, I usually do videos about living abroad, moving to Canada, living in Canada, British Columbia, travel, that kind of stuff. And if you do like videos on that kind of thing, don't forget to check out my channel and subscribe if you want to. I post videos every single week, so you'll see more of me if you like this. Just saying. So for any of you who hasn't seen my why I left England for Canada video, that kind of explains my story in more detail, but if you haven't seen it, I'll go through it quickly now. So I moved to Canada in 2016, but obviously I was planning before then. I applied for my visa very spontaneously at the end of 2015. I had an idea to go to Vancouver. I ended up getting my visa. I got pulled from the pool to do my working holiday visa, which was so lucky. I got accepted and I decided to book a one-way ticket to Vancouver. Plot twist, I didn't actually end up in Vancouver because in between planning to move to Canada and moving to Canada, I met my current boyfriend, Mike, who is Canadian, and he is from a place called Toronto. You may have heard of it. And I ended up changing my flight to Toronto. He was moving back home, I was moving to Canada. We ended up paying it off. The rest is history. We're still here. Well, not in Toronto, but we're in Canada still. So we lived in Toronto for almost 4 years until moving over to British Columbia, which is where I always wanted to be. I actually, funnily enough, never ended up in Vancouver after living in Toronto for all of that time. I really didn't want to be in the city. I'm not a city person. I grew up in the countryside. I was born and raised in the countryside. So I wanted to go somewhere that wasn't as bustling and busy. So instead of Vancouver, we came to Vancouver Island, Victoria to be specific. Victoria is actually the capital of British Columbia, but it's a lot smaller than Vancouver and a lot quieter. It's actually perfect for us, and honestly, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, you will just see me raving about living on Vancouver Island because in my opinion, it's the best place that I've ever lived. So now we've caught up, what are some of the things that I would do differently? And I think the main one that I would do differently is planning. Now, as I said, my decision to move to Canada was extremely spontaneous. I am a very impulsive decision maker when it comes to making decisions that involve travel and or moving. And I just wanted to come here and I didn't really have an idea, and I was like, I will move in 10 months, and that's pretty much what I did. If I was to do that again, or if I was to go back in time and do it, I think I would have planned it better. And by planning, I mean, I think I would have saved up for longer in the UK before I came to Canada. When I was saving up to come to Canada, I worked out how much I would spend each month to live, and then I saved up for the amount of months I figured I would be out of work. I didn't actually save up for things like travel or going on vacation or something like that. And that's definitely one of my biggest regrets and one of the things that I really wish I'd done, because I wish that I'd come to Canada and kind of traveled a bit first. When we first came, I think we gave ourselves like 2 weeks, and then Monday to Friday 9 to 5 we were job searching. I had very specific requirements that I needed for a job. It needed to be full-time, it needed to be in Toronto for a couple of different reasons. And so finding a job was like the most stressful and time-consuming thing, especially as a newcomer to a different country on a temporary visa. It was very, very stressful, and we dedicated our time to looking for jobs. Mike was a teacher at the time, and teaching, if you don't know, in Canada is very, very difficult to get into. His first job had been in the UK, so he was technically a newcomer to Canada in the fact that he'd never taught in Canada before, other than his degree, which he did like training in. But other than that, so we spent our entire first few months in Canada in coffee shops, applying for jobs, searching for jobs, going to recruitment agencies, and just like full blown going for it. We didn't really get any chance in between our time from moving to the UK to Canada to actually enjoy moving to Canada. I really wish that I'd planned and saved for longer so I could have traveled for at least a month. I would have loved to have visited some of the other provinces in Canada that I haven't actually had a chance to even go to yet. In Canada, businesses only have to give you 10 days vacation. Usually you get 15, but even 15 is like not that much. Especially as somebody who is living abroad, most of my vacation days ended up going back home. 15 days is only 3 weeks, so if I was to spend 2 weeks at home, I only had 5 days for the rest of the year. And Canada's a big place, so you don't really want to be traveling across the country or going to another province for a long weekend. So before I started work, I really do wish that I had taken some time to travel, to do a road trip, to just plan that. I know a couple of people who did that and they had the best time, and after you get into a job and you only have 15 days, it's very restrictive. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to take this off. It is so warm. I know it's fall, but it's warm in here. That is better. I've only actually been to 3 provinces in Canada. I lived in Ontario, I visited Quebec, and I've lived and visited British Columbia. All the other ones I've never actually been to. So I actually can't tell you if one is better than the other. I mean, I can make a very educated guess based on what I like and don't like, but I actually can't tell you what other provinces are. And I would love to visit places like Jasper and Banff and Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia, Halifax. Gosh, even Nunavut and Yukon. That would be so cool to go see the Northern Lights and things like that. And I never got a chance to do it, and I still haven't, and it's not looking like I'm gonna have a chance to do it anytime soon. So yeah, that's definitely something that I wish I'd have done, and something that I would recommend you do if you're moving over to a different country too. But of course at the time it was very, very stressful. I was very, very focused on trying to get a job. I had been working in an office for 3 years prior, and I'd got used to having a very comfortable salary. So to not be working was very, very scary, especially in a different country. And I knew also that having a permanent job would do well for me in the visa applying process for permanent residency and things like that. And we were very focused on that, and we knew what we wanted to do. We knew that we wanted to apply for permanent residency. Well, I needed to apply for permanent residency. Mike's already a Canadian, so he didn't have to. But it was very, very much like as soon as you got here, go, go, go. So yeah, I wish I'd have spent more time not working and not worrying about work. Although that would have been very hard because I would have been stressed still. So kind of between a rock and a hard place. But that's definitely something that I would have done differently. I would have given myself more time to travel before dedicating myself to looking for a job. And on the other end of that, something that I really wish I'd done, and something that I would definitely do if I'd done it again, is spend more time at home before I left. When I left my job in England, I had 2 weeks before I went to Canada. And for me, that seemed like a lot of time, but it really wasn't. To say goodbye to everybody that you know and not really knowing when you're coming back, it was very stressful, and there were a lot of people that I didn't actually get time to see. 2 weeks in the grand scheme of things really isn't a lot of time, and especially when you have to kind of understand that other people might be busy and other people have lives too. You can't always make schedules kind of collide, and yeah, I really wish that I'd spent more time at home, especially with what's happened in the last couple of years with COVID and things like that. There's been a lot of times when I haven't been able to go home, and I've missed it immensely. I've had some terrible, terrible bouts of homesickness in the last couple of months, and perhaps that's a story for another video, but yeah, it makes me wish that I'd have spent more time at home when I had left my job and was kind of free before I came to Canada. Something else I think I would have done differently is not put as much pressure on myself when I got here. As I said, I was working in a really good job before I left Canada, and I remember everybody telling me that I was crazy for leaving and why would you do that, and you're so much braver than I am. And I think without realizing it, that really got to me. I think that when I got here, I was trying so hard to get back to where I was in England with my career and forcing myself to move faster than perhaps I should have been. I definitely didn't take enough time to enjoy the process and to just be grateful and proud of myself for actually moving across the country. A lot of people tell me that, you know, I will say this to others too, like moving across the world or moving countries or states or provinces or whatever it is, moving away from home is a really big deal and it's an amazing achievement to do. And I think for the longest time I didn't see it as an achievement. I kind of saw it as, I think I just thought people thought I was just being stupid and why would you do that? Even though I don't think I realized that I let it get to me, I think that it did, and I really wish that I didn't. I think that would have been one of the benefits of moving at this age now. So even though it's only been 5 years, I feel like I've grown immensely, and I feel like I would have been stronger in my mind to be more confident and secure in my decision making. I was 24 when I left England, and even though that's really young still, I think that I thought it was almost too late for me to move, which now I realize is so silly. You can move countries whenever. You can do anything whenever. You can change countries, you can move homes, you can change careers. I realize that age really is but a number, and I think back then I really didn't, and I didn't appreciate my own achievement. I think probably this is going to be similar for some of you guys, and if you are in that position, I just want to say that moving countries is a huge deal and a massive achievement. So make sure that you're being kind to yourself and realizing that you've done something that not everybody will do. And in fact, not that many people do. Most people have a career and a job, but not very many people move countries. So if you have done that, then that's amazing, and make sure that you give yourself a pat on the back. Because honestly, I think it's one of the best achievements that you can have in life. Another thing that I wish I had done differently or would do differently now is go back to school. Not school as in like going back full-time university or anything like that, but just take advantage of courses and night school and part-time courses that you can do that are available to you. Again, I think this came with the idea of thinking that I was past that time and leaving university, and thinking that university and your degree is the only way that you can do to get a reputable education. It really isn't true, and there are so many different avenues for education and learning available if only you look for them. They don't even have to be things that you think that you're going to do for your career. They could just be things that you're interested in. The more I've looked into it, the more I've realized that there are so many different things to learn, and especially here in Canada, and probably the same for the US, universities offer so many night schools, so many courses that you can just pick up and learn and just go for something new, go to meet somebody. Things like flower arranging and graphic design and art school and acting classes, and all these things I never thought that I would be able to do outside of a traditional education system. I've now come to realize that there are so many of these things available, and I really wish that if I could go back in time, I would have taken advantage of those things earlier. It can sometimes be difficult with the visa process and things like that, because you're not always allowed to sign up for classes and courses, but once you have your permanent residency, you can sign up for whatever you want. Now I have started to take advantage of that. I've gone to things like acting classes because I love acting. That's what is my true passion, and if I could have been anything, it would have been in theatre. So to kind of do that again and feed a passion that I never thought I would be able to do was so amazing. I've also done things like photography classes and like mini courses. I'm about to do one in graphic design. Things that I never thought I would be able to do, and moving here has really opened doors to these kind of different things. And I'm sure it's not just in Canada, I'm sure it's insane from many, many countries, even back home. And I think that this is something that obviously everybody can take advantage of. And even if you haven't moved abroad, take advantage of the education that is available to you. Even if it is just to learn something new or to meet somebody, or it is to further your career, or even maybe pivot in your career and change careers. There's so many education options available to everybody, doesn't matter what age you are. And I really do wish that I had realized this earlier, I guess not just in my moving abroad journey, but just in life, and not kind of thought that I couldn't go back, because you always can. You can always go back to school, you can always learn something new, you can always pivot in your career, and if there's something that's not making you happy, there is a way to change it. And I am really, really grateful that I have now learnt that. I wish I'd have learnt it earlier, but I'm very, very grateful that I have now. I think that is pretty much most of the things that I would have done differently. I have made a few videos on things I regret and reasons I'm glad that I've moved here and so on and so forth, but I think those are the main things that I wish I had maybe not that I'd wished that I'd done differently, but if I were to do it now or could go back and rewrite it, I would do now. Definitely planning more and saving a bit more so I could enjoy moving here and giving myself a bit more time off before I jumped back into my career, and also just taking advantage of the education options available to me. Those things I really feel would have benefited me then, but I also feel like knowing this now will benefit me in the future. So it's not something that I regret, because had I done it differently, the outcome might have been different. But these are things that I would definitely take into account now. And if you are planning to move abroad, or even if you're not, if you're just listening for my thoughts and feelings on it, I really hope that you have taken something from this and it served as a reminder to just enjoy life. You know, I think we can all take things too seriously and be very focused on the future and kind of just forget what it's all about. And honestly, I think that maybe it's COVID talking and the whole experience that we've all been through these last couple of years, but enjoying life and enjoying what you're doing and making sure you're taking full advantage of the options available to you. It's really such a tonic for happiness, and I really hope that you have taken something from this video. I really hope it's helped you. If not, I hope it's entertained you in the slightest. If you have any thoughts on this, or if you have any things that you wish that you'd have done differently or would do differently now, let us know in the comments below, because it's always amazing to hear someone else's experiences and ideas and thoughts. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. As I mentioned earlier, I post videos every single week, so if you enjoyed this video, there will be more. Until my next one, I hope you have the most wonderful day, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!